In this video, we'll be taking a look at 10 NBA games happening on November 2nd, 2024, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games. So 20 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 10 NBA games after fully watching this video. One thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Boston Celtics versus Charlotte Hornets. The Boston Celtics are set to visit the Spectrum Center on Saturday evening for an Eastern Conference matchup against the Charlotte Hornets. This early season game will be a test for both teams as they seek to strengthen their positions in the standings. Currently, the Celtics hold the second spot in the Eastern Conference with an impressive 4-1 record, although they are coming off a close 135-132 overtime loss on the road to the Indiana Pacers on Wednesday. The Hornets, who sit in 8th place in the East with a 2-2 record, are coming off a thrilling 138-133 home victory over the Toronto Raptors on Wednesday. This matchup marks the second of 4 games the teams will play this season, with Boston already having taken the first game on Friday in a solid 124-109 win. The Celtics continue to navigate injuries, with key players Kristaps Porzingis and Al Horford still sidelined. In contrast, the Hornets are expected to take the court with a full roster once again, giving them a potential advantage in terms of stamina and versatility. Last season, Charlotte managed to cover the spread in both of their home games against Boston, showing they can compete when playing on their own court. Given that this game is the second of a back-to-back for both teams and the Hornets' generally younger roster, Charlotte is in a favorable position to put up a strong fight. Defensively, the Hornets rank 11th in three-point attempts allowed per game and 12th in opponent three-point percentage, metrics that could help them contain Boston's perimeter shooting. With the Celtics' defense showing vulnerabilities at the rim, Charlotte may have ample opportunities to score inside. Boston faced a need to bounce back following their first loss of the season, and the Hornets bore the brunt of that intensity in Friday's game. Nonetheless, Charlotte remained competitive through 3 quarters, demonstrating resilience and the ability to keep pace with the Celtics. There is reason to expect a similarly close contest on Saturday. While Boston's strong offense should allow them to secure another win, beating the same team in back-to-back games is always challenging, and the second game in these situations tends to be more tightly contested. The Hornets managed to keep Friday's game close, with the score only separated by 1 point with under 8 minutes remaining. Given that this will be Boston's 5th game in a week, the physical demands of their schedule could play a factor. Although the Celtics are likely to win again, the Charlotte Hornets to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. The Hornets, however, rank near the bottom of the league at 25th in points allowed per game, facing a Boston team that boasts the NBA's highest scoring offense. Charlotte's defensive struggles extend to sending opponents to the free throw line 29 times per game, a weakness that the Celtics are well positioned to exploit. Additionally, the Hornets are not particularly strong in defensive rebounding or forcing turnovers, which could allow Boston to capitalize on second-chance opportunities and maintain an offensive rhythm throughout the game. On the flip side, Boston's defense will be missing a key rim protector, making them vulnerable in the paint and allowing opponents to score on 71.6% of attempts at the rim. With Charlotte's ability to shoot effectively from three-point range, Boston will face the challenge of defending both the perimeter and the interior. Adding to Boston's concerns, the Hornets boast one of the league's top offensive rebounders early in the season. Currently ranked 4th in points per game, Charlotte is poised to be highly competitive on the offensive end in this matchup. When analyzing the recent defensive performances of these teams, it's evident that both are struggling to keep opponents scoring in check. Over the past 3 games, Boston has allowed an average of 120.3 points per game, while Charlotte has been giving up 124 points per game. On offense, both teams are highly efficient. Boston currently ranks 2nd in the NBA with a 123.1 offensive rating, and Charlotte isn't far behind, sitting 5th with a 118.5 rating. Given these high-powered offenses and less than stellar defensive trends, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Memphis Grizzlies versus Philadelphia 76ers. After playing 4 consecutive games at home, the Memphis Grizzlies will head out on the road to face the Philadelphia 76ers on Saturday, November 2nd. The Grizzlies hold a record of 3-3 overall and are riding the momentum of an impressive 23-point victory over the Milwaukee Bucks on Thursday. Leading the charge for Memphis in the early days of the season has been Ja Morant, whose standout performances have fueled the team. Meanwhile, the Philadelphia 76ers currently have a 1-3 record and are coming off a recent loss to the Detroit Pistons on Wednesday. Both teams are dealing with significant injuries that impact their rosters. The Grizzlies are missing several key players, including Desmond Bane, Marcus Smart, and Luke Kennard, while the 76ers are without stars Paul George and Joel Embiid. Although I find it difficult to confidently support the Philadelphia 76ers given their absences, the Grizzlies are arguably the most injury-laden team in the league at the moment. This level of attrition makes it challenging to trust them as favorites, especially on the road. Ja Morant can only do so much with the limited support he has available. With an extensive injury list, the healthier side in this matchup appears to be Philadelphia, and given the spread, the value leans towards the 76ers. Therefore, the Philadelphia 76ers to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. In last season's 2 matchups, each team claimed a victory, and they combined for an average of 218 points per game across those games. So far this season, Memphis and Philadelphia have collectively averaged 225.5 points per game. Morant's return to form has been pivotal for the Grizzlies, and they've also shown growth offensively as a team, with multiple players stepping up to contribute. Currently, 5 Grizzlies players are averaging double figures in scoring. On the other side, the 76ers have struggled to maintain consistent scoring without Paul George and Joel Embiid. Tyrese Maxey, however, has made a valiant effort to keep Philadelphia's offense functional, carrying a heavy load until their star players can return. Although neither team has displayed complete offensive dominance, they've done enough offensively to have a combined record of 7-3 for the over this season. While each team has had inconsistencies, they've managed to hit the over in a majority of their recent games, including a 4-2 record over the last 6 meetings. Memphis ranks as the league's 3rd fastest team in pace of play, while Philadelphia is slower, ranking 27th. However, Philadelphia's weaker defense could allow Memphis to exploit transition opportunities and score relatively easily. This matchup has the potential to be a high-scoring game, with the Grizzlies potentially surpassing 120 points on the road. Notably, when Philadelphia's games have featured a total set at 220 or higher, the over has gone 3-0, while Memphis's road games have also gone over in both of their recent matchups. For the total pick, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Sacramento Kings versus Toronto Raptors. The Sacramento Kings are set to face the Toronto Raptors on Saturday evening at the Scotiabank Arena in Toronto. This non-conference matchup comes early in the NBA's regular season, and both teams are looking to establish momentum. Entering the game, the Kings hold a 2-2 record, placing them 8th in the Western Conference standings. They're also coming off the second game of a back-to-back, having just played an away game against the Atlanta Hawks on Friday. Similarly, the Raptors are also on the second leg of a back-to-back, having hosted the Los Angeles Lakers the previous night. This is the first of 2 games scheduled between the Kings and Raptors this season, with their next face-off set to take place in Sacramento on Wednesday. In terms of player availability, the Kings come into this game with a clean bill of health and have no players listed on the injury report. The Raptors, however, are dealing with some key absences, as Scotty Barnes, Kelly Olynyk, and Emmanuel quickly remain sidelined. Defensively, these teams have performed at contrasting levels. Sacramento has shown defensive discipline, allowing just 97 points on average over their last 2 games. Meanwhile, Toronto has struggled, giving up 126 points per game over their previous 3 contests. Analyzing true shooting percentages further highlights this disparity, with Sacramento ranking 5th in the NBA at 60.3%, whereas Toronto sits at 17th with a 56.5% true shooting rate. Although the Raptors benefit from home court advantage and the lack of travel, the Kings appear to have the upper hand in this matchup. Sacramento's lineup is healthier, and they've shown stronger defensive and offensive metrics overall. For Toronto, the challenge is compounded by injuries to significant rotation players, which could impact their performance, especially on the second night of a back-to-back schedule. While it's a challenging road game for the Kings, the spread isn't extensive, making them the favorites to win and cover. Based on these factors, the Sacramento Kings to win and cover the spread as the favorites is our full game side pick. When it comes to betting the total, trends indicate a high score scoring game. The over has hit in 12 of Toronto's last 15 games, yielding an impressive plus 8.7 units with a 53% return on investment. Toronto has struggled defensively in the season's first week, ranking last in points allowed and second to last in opponent field goal percentage. Although the Raptors score effectively in the paint, they also allow opponents ample scoring opportunities inside. Additionally, they are prone to turnovers, averaging 19 per game, which is the second highest in the league. Toronto's fast-paced play style, averaging 102.1 possessions per 48 minutes, also contributes to high-scoring games. Both teams have demonstrated an ability to score consistently in recent games. The Kings have averaged 117 points in their last 3 games, while the Raptors have scored 129 points in their previous 2. Throughout the season, both teams have excelled in fast-break scoring, with Sacramento averaging 17 fast-break points per game and Toronto leading the NBA with 20.4 fast-break points per game. Given these trends, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Golden State Warriors versus Houston Rockets. In a clash between two Western Conference teams, the Golden State Warriors and Houston Rockets will face off on the hardwood in Texas. The Warriors hit the road following a 2-game home sweep over the New Orleans Pelicans, securing a 104-89 victory on Wednesday night, comfortably covering the spread as 3-point favorites. Meanwhile, the Rockets come into this matchup with momentum after a strong 108-102 road win against the Dallas Mavericks on Thursday, successfully pulling off an upset as 6.5-point underdogs. Historically, the Rockets hold a slight edge in the all-time regular season series between these teams, leading 126-107. However, the Warriors have been dominant in recent meetings, winning the last 13 matchups, including a decisive 133-110 victory on Houston's home court on April 4, 2024. Both teams are dealing with key absences in their lineups. The Warriors continue to navigate the season without star guard Stephen Curry and Anthony Melton, who remain sidelined due to injuries. For the Rockets, veteran center Steven Adams has already been ruled out of Saturday's game. Golden State has managed to stay competitive in Curry's absence, showing resilience and winning their last 2 games. However, they now face a hungry Rockets team that recently demonstrated their potential by defeating the Mavericks on the road. The Warriors' recent success is impressive, but this young and energetic Rockets squad is also on an upward trajectory, making this a highly anticipated matchup for them. The Warriors have shown they can adjust and win without Curry, yet it remains to be seen if they can replicate that success on the road against a team that is starting to find its rhythm. The Rockets, fresh off a couple of impressive wins over the San Antonio Spurs and Dallas Mavericks, are beginning to gel as a team, though their youth means there are still some growing pains. With Houston holding home court advantage and Golden State missing their most influential player, the odds lean in favor of the Rockets covering the spread as the favorites in this game. As such, so the Houston Rockets to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. On the scoring front, Golden State has tended to stay under the projected total in 3 of their 5 games this season. The Warriors rank 15th in the league in turnovers, averaging 15.2 per game, and are 12th in tempo with around 100.3 possessions per game. The Rockets, who have also kept games under the total in 4 of their 5 games this season, sit 6th in the league with an average of just 12 turnovers per game. In terms of pace, Houston is more methodical, ranking 25th with an average of 97.4 possessions per game. Despite the relatively low total by today's NBA standards, the under is a favorable play here. Houston has built its identity around strong defensive play, ranking 9th in defensive efficiency, allowing just 111 points per 100 possessions. With Curry unavailable for the Warriors, Houston's defense stands a good chance of maintaining its strong performance. Thus far, the Rockets have not allowed more than 110 points in a single game, holding opponents to an average of only 106 points. Neither team is focused on pushing the pace. The Warriors are currently 12th in pace with 101.1 possessions per game, while the Rockets are close behind at 13th, averaging 100.9 possessions. Given both teams' commitment to defense and slower style of play early in the season, a low-scoring, defensively oriented game seems likely. Therefore, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Cleveland Cavaliers versus Milwaukee Bucks. The Cleveland Cavaliers are set to bring their impressive undefeated record to Milwaukee this Saturday, where they will face off against the struggling Bucks in an exciting matchup within the Eastern Conference. So far this season, the Cavaliers have started strong, boasting a perfect 5-0 record and showcasing their offensive prowess through their first 5 games. In stark contrast, the Bucks find themselves in a surprisingly challenging position with a record of just 1-4 after 5 games, largely due to the absence of starting forward Khris Middleton, who is sidelined with an injury. Despite their success, the Cavaliers are still dealing with a few injuries, with players Max Strus and Craig Porter Jr. unable to play. Meanwhile, the Bucks will again be without the services of Khris Middleton. When looking back at last year's regular season, the two teams met 4 times and split the series evenly, with each team securing 1 win both at home and on the road, both straight up and against the spread. Before heading to Milwaukee, the Cavaliers have a game scheduled for Friday night, but they have demonstrated resilience in back-to-back matchups. Last weekend, they convincingly defeated the Detroit Pistons at home on Friday night and followed that up with another win against the Washington Wizards the following evening. On the other hand, the Bucks have struggled significantly without Khris Middleton, who has yet to make an appearance this season. In contrast, the Cavaliers have been receiving solid contributions from nearly every player on their roster. Over their last 4 games, 4 different players have stepped up to lead the team in scoring, demonstrating their ability to share the ball effectively. Conversely, Milwaukee's defense has been in disarray, showing little indication that they are on the brink of a significant turnaround. Their aging roster is starting to exhibit its limitations. Historically, Cleveland holds a record of 6-4 both straight up and against the spread in the last 10 encounters with their divisional rivals. The Cavaliers have capitalized on a favorable start to the season, managing to string together 6 consecutive victories. They will undoubtedly relish the opportunity to secure a win against the Bucks in their home arena, especially with the rematch looming on Monday back in Cleveland. Analyzing their recent performances, it's clear that the Cavaliers currently possess a significant advantage over their opponents. However, they will be playing this matchup on 0 days of rest, which can complicate matters. On the other hand, the Milwaukee Bucks do enjoy the advantage of playing at home and having a day off to recuperate, yet it's hard to envision many fans eagerly betting on them as the favorites given their current form. The Bucks have not looked strong throughout their first 5 games, and there is a palpable sense of unease surrounding the team. Speculation is circulating that Damian Lillard may not be satisfied with his role, and whispers of Giannis Antetokounmpo potentially seeking a trade if the situation does not improve are also making the rounds. While a couple of wins could alleviate some of the pressure facing the red-hot Cavaliers, even as underdogs may present an appealing value opportunity. Taking all of this into account, I genuinely believe that the Bucks should not be favored given their current performance level. Thus, the Cleveland Cavaliers to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. In their previous 4-game series during the 2023-2024 season, the two teams ended up splitting the wins. Notably, in the 2 games the Cavaliers won, the final scores remained below the total points, while the games that the Bucks secured resulted in scores that exceeded the total. I anticipate that this trend will persist in their upcoming game, with the Bucks likely emerging victorious while also scoring at a high pace. The Cavaliers currently rank 3rd in the league for scoring, suggesting they will put up impressive numbers as well. Furthermore, the Bucks are sitting 4th in field goal percentage, which should allow them to maintain this efficiency against a Cleveland squad that will be playing its 3rd game in 4 days. Expect both teams to shoot effectively and for the total points in this game to exceed the projected total. Therefore, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Minnesota Timberwolves versus San Antonio Spurs. The Minnesota Timberwolves, currently holding a record of 2 wins and 2 losses, are preparing to face off against the San Antonio Spurs, who stand at 2 wins and 3 losses in an exciting matchup this Saturday evening. This game will take place in the Western Conference at the Frost Bank Center. The Timberwolves find themselves in a challenging situation as they will be competing in the 2nd game of a back-to-back series, having played against the Denver Nuggets just the night before. In contrast, the Spurs are coming off a strong performance, having secured a 106-88 victory on the road against another team just a day prior, which should give them a boost of confidence heading into this contest. The Timberwolves boast a more formidable roster compared to the Spurs, which should allow them to dictate the pace and flow of the game effectively. Unfortunately for San Antonio, their offensive performance has been lackluster throughout the early part of the season, making it difficult for them to score points against a competitive team like Minnesota. A closer examination of the net ratings thus far reveals a noticeable disparity. The Timberwolves currently rank 12th in the league with a net rating of 0.6, whereas the Spurs find themselves in 17th place with a net rating of -2.7. Analyzing defensive capabilities, particularly in terms of guarding the perimeter, is crucial for both teams' success. The Timberwolves excel in this area, ranking 8th in the NBA with an opposing three-point shooting percentage of 33.1%, while the Spurs sit at 16th with a higher opposing percentage of 36.4%. It's important to consider that this matchup could present a potential letdown scenario for the Minnesota Timberwolves. After a hard-fought comeback victory against the Nuggets the previous night, which had the intensity of a playoff atmosphere, they may find it challenging to maintain that same level of energy and focus. Meanwhile, the Spurs will be playing at home and will have the advantage of being well-rested. However, if we set aside those factors, the Timberwolves should still be able to control the game effectively. San Antonio has struggled with scoring consistently and has not defended the three-point line effectively, which poses a significant challenge when facing a Timberwolves squad that is adept at capitalizing on such weaknesses. As the Timberwolves gear up for their second game in a back-to-back series, it is worth noting that the season is still in its early stages. They are likely riding a wave of confidence following their impressive comeback win against the Nuggets. On the other hand, the Spurs are experiencing a newfound sense of success, having recently achieved a substantial victory over the Utah Jazz, which suggests they are beginning to find their rhythm. While the Spurs do possess the potential to spring an upset on their home court, the Timberwolves have been on a solid run and seem capable of continuing that momentum, particularly given the close point spread in this matchup. Therefore, the Minnesota Timberwolves to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. When examining the defensive statistics from the previous 3 games, both teams have shown positive trends. The Timberwolves have allowed an average of 112 points per game, while the Spurs have been particularly impressive on defense, yielding only 100 points per game during that same stretch. Throughout the season, both teams have maintained a slower pace of play, with the Timberwolves currently ranked 24th in the league with a pace of 98.5 possessions per game, and the Spurs just above them in 23rd place with a pace of 98.6. Additionally, neither team has been particularly aggressive at getting to the free throw line, with Minnesota tied for 19th in the league with an average of 24 free throw attempts per game, while San Antonio ranks 25th with only 21.8 attempts per game. The Spurs are known for their strong defensive capabilities, and they should have the upper hand in this regard. Consequently, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Miami Heat versus Washington Wizards. This intriguing matchup will take place at the Mexico City Arena on Saturday evening, adding a unique twist to the game as it will be played on neutral ground. Looking back to last season, these two Southeast Division rivals clashed on 4 occasions, with the Miami Heat emerging victorious in 3 of those encounters. However, despite their success, they only managed to cover the spread in 1 of those games, indicating a struggle to perform to expectations in certain situations. In terms of player availability, the Heat are still missing key contributors, including Kevin Love and Duncan Robinson. On the other side, the Wizards will be without Malcolm Brogdon and Kyle Kuzma for this matchup. There has been speculation regarding potential trades involving veterans like Jonas Valanciunas and Kuzma, particularly as the Wizards aim to secure a top 5 draft pick. While Washington is in a rebuilding phase, they present an entertaining style of play, which is bound to result in a mix of highs and lows throughout the season. Meanwhile, the Heat's recent performance has raised concerns. Surprisingly, Pat Riley, a prominent figure in the organization, did not make any significant roster changes during the offseason. This lack of youthful talent and athleticism in the aging Miami squad is a point of concern. Playing on a neutral court in Mexico City should level the playing field somewhat, offering no clear advantage to either team. However, Washington appears to have a fresh foundation, bolstered by promising young players thanks to recent changes in their front office. Their recent wins over Atlanta have likely given them a boost of confidence heading into this contest. The Miami Heat have struggled with offensive consistency, making it difficult to trust them when they are favored by large margins. In their last 11 games as favorites of 5 points or more, they hold a 4-6-1 record against the spread. This season, Miami has had difficulty scoring, often failing to break the 100-point mark, and they currently rank 26th in field goal percentage. To make matters worse, they will be missing Robinson, who is one of their top 3-point shooters, on a team that already lacks sufficient outside shooting. Additionally, the game being played in Mexico City adds an unpredictable element, leaving uncertainties about how the unique setting may affect the players and the overall outcome. As the season progresses, the Heat have yet to find their rhythm. Their confidence has taken a hit following a disappointing loss to the New York Knicks, and they may be caught off guard by a Wizards team that has just secured 2 consecutive victories. Although it's understandable why the Heat are favored heavily in this matchup, they are expected to come away with a win. The Wizards possess a streaky nature. If Jordan Poole gets hot from beyond the arc, he could help keep the game much closer than anticipated. While I may not be keen on backing the Wizards, my hesitation to fully trust the Heat from game to game, especially as the favorites, gives me pause. The spread is quite substantial, so while I believe the Heat will ultimately win, I am inclined to go with the Wizards to cover the spread as underdogs. Therefore, the Washington Wizards to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Miami isn't known for their high-scoring capabilities. However, reflecting on last season, they managed to put up impressive scores of 119 and 121 points in 2 separate games against the Wizards. In terms of pace, Washington ranks 4th in the league according to dunksandthrees.com, which is unexpectedly low given their style of play. They also rank 26th in defensive efficiency, a statistic that aligns with the typical challenges faced by young teams that prioritize fast-paced play, often leading to vulnerability in transition defense. In contrast, Miami boasts a solid defensive rating, currently sitting at 10th overall, although they did struggle defensively in their recent game against the Knicks. Based on these observations, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Portland Trail Blazers versus Phoenix Suns. The Portland Trail Blazers, currently holding a 2-3 record, are looking to start their 4-game road trip on a high note as they take on the Phoenix Suns this Saturday evening. The game will be hosted at the Footprint Center, a venue where the Suns have consistently shown strong performances. This matchup provides an opportunity for Portland to secure a win on the road against a formidable Phoenix team that has started the season strong. The Trail Blazers entered this game with some momentum after narrowly defeating the Los Angeles Clippers 106-105 as 8-point underdogs in their last outing. On the other hand, the Phoenix Suns are also coming off a win against the Clippers, defeating them 125-119 as 4.5-point favorites. Recent history shows Phoenix as the more successful team in this matchup, boasting a 7-3 record in their last 10 encounters with Portland. Portland will again be without key players Sheedon Sharpe and Robert Williams, while the Suns are monitoring Bradley Beal's status as he remains questionable due to recent health concerns. The Suns have displayed impressive form, winning 4 of their last 5 games, whereas the Trail Blazers have faced challenges, losing 3 of their last 5. Phoenix's strength lies in their efficient offense, shooting over 48% from the field and an impressive 40% from beyond the arc. These shooting stats could pose a challenge for Portland's defense, especially since the Blazers allow opponents to shoot 38% from 3-point range on the road. Additionally, Phoenix's ability to limit turnovers reduces Portland's chances of capitalizing on easy scoring opportunities. The Blazers are not known for their defensive capabilities and may struggle to keep pace, especially as they contend with the physical and mental toll of playing on consecutive nights. Offensively, the Trail Blazers have underwhelmed on the road, averaging fewer than 105 points per game. Their ball movement has also been subpar, with an average of less than 20 assists per game away from home. While Portland's rebounding could help them remain competitive, their tendency to commit turnovers could be costly against a Phoenix team that ranks highly in steals and fast break points. The Suns' strong defensive play, allowing fewer than 105 points per game at home, suggests that Portland could face a significant challenge in trying to keep up with them on both ends of the court. The Trail Blazers have encountered difficulties this season, including a recent 23-point loss to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, they face a Suns squad that has won 4 of its first 5 games and is starting to hit its stride. Although the point spread for this game may seem high, particularly if Bradley Beal remains sidelined, Phoenix appears to be in solid form under their new coaching staff, showing improvement over their last 3 games. Despite Portland's efforts to remain competitive in their games this season, the scheduling disadvantage of a back-to-back situation could prove problematic against a sharp Phoenix team. Given the current line, the Suns are expected to cover the spread as favorites, even if Beal does not play. With Phoenix playing at home and in good form, they have the advantage in this matchup. So the Phoenix Suns to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The recent betting trends suggest a low-scoring affair, as the Trail Blazers have gone under the projected total in 3 of their last 4 games, while the Suns have played under in 2 of their previous 3. Portland averages 107 points per game overall, but dips to just over 100 points in their 2 road games thus far. They play at a relatively moderate pace, ranking 17th in the league with an average of 104 possessions per game, and they're up against a Suns defense that allows only 103.5 points per game at home. Phoenix, meanwhile, averages 116 points per game but plays at the 21st fastest pace in the league with 103.3 possessions per game. They will face a Portland team that is conceding 108 points per game on the road. Historically, these teams have played low-scoring games, with the total going under in 2 of their last 3 meetings. Therefore, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Utah Jazz versus Denver Nuggets. The Utah Jazz are set to travel to Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado, where they will face off against the Denver Nuggets. This season, the Jazz are off to a tough start with a record of 0-5, which places them at the bottom of the Northwest Division. In contrast, the Denver Nuggets hold a record of 2-3, putting them in 3rd place within the same division. Looking at recent history, Denver dominated Utah in their last season series, winning 3 out of 4 matchups in the 2023-2024 season. The Jazz will be without key players, as Lauri Markkanen and Jordan Clarkson remain sidelined, which has impacted their offensive output significantly. On the other hand, the Nuggets have injury concerns of their own, with star guard Jamal Murray listed on the injury report, which could impact their depth and offensive efficiency. Historically, Denver has struggled as a heavy favorite at home against the Jazz, going 2-7 to 1 against a -10 spread in their last 10 home games against Utah. This season, the Nuggets are just 1-4 against the spread, underscoring their inconsistency. The Jazz, although struggling offensively, may find opportunities to exploit the Nuggets' defense, especially given that Denver is coming off a back-to-back game. Fatigue could affect Denver's defensive efforts, creating opportunities for the Jazz to keep the score closer than expected. Betting on the Utah Jazz this season has not been appealing given their poor offensive performance and overall record. However, the Denver Nuggets may not be in top form for this game due to a taxing back-to-back schedule, coupled with a recent emotional loss that could linger in their minds. Depth issues also pose a challenge for Denver, especially with the potential absence of Murray, which may limit their offensive options. Considering these factors, the Utah Jazz to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. In terms of the point total, recent trends favor the under. Utah's last 4 games have all gone under the total, and without Markkanen, their top scorer, they are averaging a mere 99 points per game. Additionally, Denver's schedule, with this being the 2nd game in 2 nights, could result in a slower pace and fewer points overall. Denver has also seen the total go under in 4 of their last 6 games. Utah is aware they cannot compete effectively in a fast-paced game with Denver, so they are likely to control the tempo by using more of the shot clock on each possession. Therefore, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Oklahoma City Thunder versus Los Angeles Clippers. The Los Angeles Clippers have hit a rough patch, losing their last 2 games as they prepare to host the undefeated Oklahoma City Thunder in what promises to be a competitive Western Conference matchup. The Clippers, who currently hold a 2-3 record, will be looking to rebound on their home court, but they'll face a formidable challenge against a Thunder team that has excelled on both ends of the court. Oklahoma City stands as one of only 2 teams in the league that remain unbeaten, allowing just 99 points per game on average, the lowest in the NBA. Their defensive prowess has been a key factor in their success and will be tested against a Clippers squad still finding its rhythm early in the season. The Clippers, who started strong with 2 consecutive wins, have struggled recently and now find themselves without star forward Kawhi Leonard, who is expected to miss several more weeks due to injury. Leonard has yet to make his season debut, and his absence has undeniably impacted the team's performance. The Clippers are also missing Mo Bamba, which further stretches their lineup. Meanwhile, the Thunder have their own injury concerns, as Jalen Williams and Isaiah Hartenstein are sidelined. Despite these setbacks, Oklahoma City has managed to maintain its solid form, highlighted by their defensive tenacity. Oklahoma City's balanced play on both offense and defense has propelled them to the top of the Western Conference. Even with standout rookie Chet Holmgren limited to just 18 minutes in their last game due to foul trouble, the Thunder still managed a decisive victory. James Harden, now with the Clippers, put up a triple-double in his last outing, but it wasn't enough to secure the win, as he has faced challenges with his shooting efficiency this season. The Thunder's defense, which has proven tough to break, will likely make it difficult for the Clippers to find open looks. Oklahoma City's hot streak makes them an attractive pick, even on the second night of a back-to-back set. The Clippers have the benefit of playing at home and are coming off a rest day, which might give them an edge in terms of energy. Although Harden has had a strong individual season, the Thunder's unbeaten start and 4-1 record against the spread make them a solid choice for bettors, especially considering their success last season in covering spreads. While the conventional wisdom often advises against betting on teams playing the second night of a back-to-back, the Thunder's impressive form gives good reason to go against the grain in this instance. The Clippers could potentially pull off an upset if Harden has a standout performance, but the Thunder's momentum is difficult to ignore, so the Oklahoma City Thunder to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Oklahoma City relies heavily on its defense while frequently pushing the pace in transition, aiming to create fast break opportunities that can catch opponents off guard. The Clippers, on the other hand, will look to slow down the game and rely on physical, aggressive defense as their best strategy for keeping it close. Notably, the Thunder average over 5 more possessions per 48 minutes compared to the Clippers, which could lead to a clash in styles throughout the game. However, the Clippers' struggles with turnovers may work against them. Though they have been effective at forcing turnovers themselves, the team's tendency to give up possessions could disrupt their flow and ultimately hinder their chances of dictating the game's pace. Despite the Thunder's high-scoring performance in their last game, this matchup might lean towards a lower-scoring contest. Oklahoma City's fast-paced style may be tempered by fatigue from playing the previous night, potentially limiting their offensive output. While the Thunder rank 12th in the league in possessions per game, the Clippers sit much lower at 25th, suggesting that this game could see fewer total possessions. Coupled with Oklahoma City's league-leading defense in opponent points per game, this combination points towards a likely low-scoring affair, even though the last 4 meetings between these teams have gone over the projected total, as both team styles and recent performances suggest a tighter, more defensive-oriented matchup. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.